Sources tell CBS News FBI supervisors have received questionnaires to give out to employees regarding the January 6th investigation. The questions look at what role agents may have played in prosecuting the hundreds of Capitol riot cases. Agents are expected to submit their completed questionnaires by Tuesday afternoon. And it comes days after a memo from the acting deputy attorney general that ordered FBI agents assigned to January 6 cases to go under review. Earlier Monday, President Trump criticized the FBI while speaking to reporters in the Oval Office.
I think the FBI was a very corrupt institution. I think the FBI had a great reputation. I think its reputation was really damaged badly, as is DOJ.
CBS News Justice Department reporter Rob Legare joins us now. Rob, the January 6th investigation was the largest in the department's history. Can you explain how many FBI employees could face scrutiny for their involvement?
Hey, good evening, Lindsay. So that's right. It was the largest investigation in Justice Department history. To put that in perspective, there were 1,500 defendants charged before that investigation was shut down, and the defendants were pardoned in the first few days of the Trump administration. For each of those defendants to be charged, FBI agents in nearly every case had to collect evidence, memorialize it, give it to prosecutors, and then those documents were included in charging documents. So underpinning every charge in the 1,500 defendants charged were FBI agents, and that spanned the country. Nearly every state in the country had defendants charged in the January 6th investigation, and nearly every FBI field office across the country was involved in this. And so we don't know the numbers. Hundreds, if not thousands, were at least involved in the FBI investigation into January 6th. And this number of agents tied to this scrutinization could ebb and flow. We don't necessarily know what will happen next. And I think that's important to point out. What we reported on Friday and over the weekend was that Justice Department officials said that this survey had to be filled out and that potentially personnel actions could follow. We don't know yet what that means, so we're going to keep an eye on that, keep an eye on our reporting. But as you said at the beginning, largest Justice Department investigation, over 1,500 defendants charged. That means a lot of FBI agents, at least, were tied to some of the aspects of the investigation.
And we need to mention, too, Rob, they didn't do anything wrong. They were following the rule of law. So have we seen any employees speak out or either threaten or take legal action over this?
So what we have seen is publicly the FBI Agents Association that represents the thousands, the tens of thousands of current and former FBI agents. We've seen them speak out. They were beating the drum, sounding the alarm last week, over the last 5 days, through the weekend, and today they released a letter that they sent to congressional leaders and the heads of the judiciary committees in the Senate and the House, calling for this to be put to an end. They said that this would have, quote, dangerous distractions among the FBI rank and file, and so that they agreed with the president that there needs to be increased trust in the FBI and in public safety institutions across the country. They said they agree with the president on that, but that the way this is going about, the way the administration is going about this, looking at and scrutinizing line agents, that's not the way to do it, they said.
How does this move a line? I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, I apologize about that. I was going to say, we've also seen an email obtained by our CBS News' Pat Milton, who basically who obtained a memo from the FBI field office in New York, sounding the alarm and basically saying that these people are being scrutinized for doing their jobs. And he said that certain individuals have already lost their jobs. He said they've been robbed of their jobs, not their dignity. Sorry about that.
No, it was my mistake to jump on you there. How does this move align with the Trump administration's long-term vision and goals for, I guess, the FBI and the Justice Department writ large?
Yeah, so this is consistent with what we've seen at the Justice Department since Trump was inaugurated, since the president was inaugurated. We have seen over the last few weeks, beginning of last month into this month, changes within the Justice Department, not just in those political appointed offices that usually change from administrations, but with career officials within the Justice Department and the FBI. A few weeks ago, we saw officials within the Justice Department's career officials within the Justice Department's National Security Division and criminal divisions transferred and reassigned. One individual, at least one individual, resigned because of that reassignment. And just last week, we saw executive assistant directors. Those are FBI agents who have had years of experience looking over the National Security Division, the criminal divisions, the cyber divisions. They were asked to resign, retire, or be fired by this week. And so what we're seeing here is a restructuring of the Justice Department and the FBI, which aligns with the president's, while he was a candidate, his desire and his stated plans to reshape the Justice Department. We're seeing that played out now, even before his nominees to lead the Justice Department, Pam Bondi, and lead the FBI, Kash Patel, are confirmed and put in their positions.
Rob Legare, thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay.